What's up, fam? Hey, hey, hey. I'm just coming back to touch down for a few moments. I'm not going to be before you long. For me, it's late. As you can see, I have my little Bella here who is truly a night owl, just like her mama. But I just wanted to come back and say hello. And I finally finished the labor of love for my special person who put in a special request for a slouchy hat in purple. And she did ask me for a variety of purples. However, I picked the most beautiful purple that I had on hand with a ombre. So this is just the first one, and I can do them all kind of ways. So, but this is for you. You know who you are. So it's finished, and I blessed it, and it's totally neutralized. Steamed it, so it's nice and fresh, ready for your beautiful locks. And I've been working on a lot of stuff, as you can see on the wall back there. Those are meditation mandalas that also been working on. Those run you about $7 to $10, depending on the size and how many colors you want. Um, if you look up mandalas, they're a meditation tool. So being of the spiritual realm and trying to further expand my knowledge there, that's what I've been doing too. They're very, very good tools, and when you learn how to use them, more and more you see the what they're used for and why, in other words. And I'll get into that later down the line. But I just wanted to update my sister who requested her hat. I am so sorry though that it took me longer than what I anticipated because of work and school and family, and you already know. So not making any excuses, just totally 100% humbly apologizing for the stretched out time frame in which you first ordered it, and it is on its way ASAP. I promise. Here it is. And I also do other pieces. This is one half of a pair of a wrist warmer, arm warmer for winter, for whatever. If you outside athletics job, I do a lot of outside stuff in the winter when it's cold. And back in Chicago, I used to have the Under Armour warmers, and for me, they tore up too fast when I was running and everything. I'm just really rough on workout gear. But this is more for casual. If you have a nice sweater, sometimes the sleeves be flooding. I know I have super long arms, and these come in handy. They're cute. You can put them over your sleeves, under your coat to keep your arms, your wrists warm. You can wear them around the house. If you don't feel like putting on a hoodie or a sweater or whatever. Wrist warmers. I do them long, short, in between. So a pair of long ones such as this would be $10 for one pair. I can do the short ones for $7, same as a Mandela. And I do men's pieces too, scullies, beanies, kufis, tunics, hoodies, whatever you need, crocheted, blankets, afghans, pillow, cuff shams, bed skirts, all kind of stuff can be crocheted. And it's a very beautiful, rustic, homemade look. Gives you that warmth to your home that some people just like that handmade touch. So I also came to say a very, very humble thank you to everybody who believed in us. And when I say us, I mean my family, because without them, there is no me, and vice versa. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for the undying love. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for investing in me. Thank you for pushing me. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you for adding to whatever it is I needed to take that next step forward. Very soon here, coming up in June, I will have an official doctor in front of my name. So thank you for your prayers, your good energy, and the love, just the unconditional, well, I don't want to say unconditional, but the undying love and support that You all have given me, been in my corner through the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the real bleak moments and the happy moments. And I'm just stronger of it. I'm stronger from it. And I'm very grateful that I did see the things that I saw when I saw them and when I experienced them, because it just adds to the pot of wisdom. And I'm just glad for that. And I'm glad for, the people that stayed. And I'm glad that the people that left are gone, because I'm not one to get in nobody's way of progress. And whatever people have to do to process and sleep at night is what they have to do. Whatever people have to tell each other and however they have to commune together to do whatever they need to do to move on, who am I to say anything about that? So, it is what it is, and I can just do the best I can to evolve, learn, and grow to get to where I need to be so that I can try to reach back and give back and have a legacy that is to be proud of, something that our youth can look at other than the dysfunction that we see. And social media is just one small tip of the iceberg of dysfunction that's going on in this world we call a society. Sadly, some people will always be stuck in one mind frame, in one way of thought, in a destructive, negative, sanctimonious journey of scrutiny, of negativity, and coming from a place of no, because there's trust issues there, trust of self, trust of others. It's a challenge. And like I said, sometimes we just have to meet people where they are, and people come through your life and cross your path and come to share your journey for a reason, a season, or a lesson. And sadly, you hate to see people go who you become attached to, but saying goodbye sometimes is the healthiest way to do it. And unfortunately, us as a people, we don't know how to let go of anything gracefully. We don't know how to process it, discuss it, and move on. We have to try to make it as ugly for one another as possible. And I've never been one to lay down, especially when people lie and invent lies just to add value to what their purpose is, whatever it is, to expose, to demean, to debase, to degrade another person. Yet they have a conflicted view where they can cherry pick who it's okay for them to do this, but you can't. Yet it's the same thing. That's dysfunction. That's double-mindedness, and I just really can't get down with stuff like that. When we have to sit and pick apart every little thing that someone does and says on their journey and try to make it a farce or a joke, I don't get pleasure out of that, especially another Black woman. I just don't get down like that. It's not something that makes me feel good or above another person. It's just that totem is just something I can't shimmy up that totem. It's just not going. It don't fit. My arms don't fit around that kind of motherfucking totem. So, it's just not for me to do that. It's not in my blood. It's not in my aura. It's not in my intent to bring anything to anybody but healing. So some of us don't know what love is, never will. And that's just really not my cross to bear or my dress to wear. So, yeah, just touching in. That's it. I really don't want nothing, just to really show gratitude. I really want to do that because we get busy, tied up in our lives, and we are thankful, but don't show it enough. We don't give it enough. We don't put it out there in the universe so it can be felt, because appreciation goes a lot further than what we ever really realize when we show each other appreciation and just touch and agree that I'm thankful for you and thankful for the energy that you have added to my cipher. That means a lot. And when someone is appreciated, even for what we might think is a small thing on our side of the fence. To them, it's a huge thing because they made that choice to do it for you. And that's how I feel. I'm very grateful for everybody. I can't name everybody. I don't have a list. Y'all know who you are, who've been, watching me, getting down with me, knowing my personal journeys, struggles, triumphs, victories, whatever you want to call it, fights, battles, all that. I'm very thankful for all of it, because without it, I just wouldn't know what I know now and wouldn't be able to move forward with what I know now and learn more and add to that lexicon of understanding and understanding, if that makes sense. So, as you can see, I am exhausted. I have been reading and reading and reading and reading because I have taken up something that the Spirit guided me to do about 3 years ago. I don't like school. I never did. From freshman year forward, I hated school. So I was told by the universe to go back to school, and it took me a minute to get the motor running. And long story short, I finally did it. Back in 2012, I started law school, and then in 2013, I went to finish my doctorate in psychology because I have a nursing degree, and then something just spoke to me. My spirit guides told me to move on forward with it, and I have to listen. I fought it for a year because I got the message in 2011, and I put it off for a whole year. I'm like, I'm not going back to school. I'm not doing this shit. I want to buy some horses on the farm and just sit back and chill, smoke a peace pipe, grow some good herb and some good food on my fucking farm, and ride my horses the rest of my life. I don't want to do that shit. So me and the spirits argued for a whole year, and here I am. It's been off and on, touch and go, and I really don't discuss a lot of what I'm doing publicly, because it just, everybody don't give a fuck. It's not really that interesting to me to be announcing the shit all the time. But I'm very proud of the choice that I made, and I'm proud of the progress that I see in myself as well as in my family and in those that are connected. So when I say family, it's not just my blood. It's everybody who has contributed to helping me propel forward. Whether it was $5, whether it was a hug, whether it was a kind word, a beautiful gift, whatever it was that was gifted to me or I requested from you, I want to say that I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my soul, because I know what love don't feel like, and I know what love feels like. So I just want to make sure that I put it out there in the universe humbly and say thank you to everybody who added to the pot. And thank you to those who tried to take away from the pot too. Because, everybody knows a struggling student, whether you're undergrad, grad, or doctoral, is rough. Emotionally, physically, financially, all 360 degrees is rough to just be a student and try to be successful, and try to really attain your goal. So I personally have been very humbled by this experience. It's a beautiful journey. I am tired. My spirit is tired, and I'm just tired. So I'm starting a new project on the 23rd, and I thank you all for being there for that, cheering me on. It's not nothing real big. It's just another opportunity to make some more money. And I'll be moving on from there, and you'll be seeing me soon on a ranch with my horses and my teepees, and just building that process. I want to share a little bit of it with, the family, because it's just, it's exciting to open a new chapter and move forward, do new shit, challenge yourself. I was always told all my life that I've been an overachiever, a workaholic, a worryaholic, too much of a perfectionist, and all that, and been attacked for it too, as y'all can see. You see it, can't miss it. So, but that's the next step with the queen and the tribe over here, and anybody else attached to us who have loved on us real hard and was there them sleepless nights when I was freaking out and running out of whatever, running out of eggs, running out of money, running out of butter, running out of sugar, whatever. You helped me get over the hump with your love, compassion, and most of all, lack of judgment, which is the most beautiful characteristic any human being can hold. Lack of judgment. I'm working on it because I judge myself real hard, and I tend to look over and be like, why would you do that? So I'm checking myself too, hood checking me too. So I appreciate it very, very much. And my special sister who ordered her hat, like I said, it'll be on its way soon. Finito. So I love y'all. I'm gonna get some shut eye. I have legal shit. I'm talking in legalese in the house. My kids are going crazy. They're like, Mom, you need a break, chick. I've been kind of touching in and out. I hit it hard, then I take a couple days. I hit it hard again, I take it to, and juggling work and class and stuff. That's the most. It's crazy. I don't know what I was doing in undergrad. I don't know how I did. I was, when you get older, shit change. It's like, but everything is turning out real good. So I'm trying to work this matrix the best way I know how, so I can translate that into some other healing on a whole nother level for my peoples. That's all I'm here to do, is try to pull from my hat, share what I got in my hat, what you got in your hat. We put our hats together and try to make something happen and figure this shit out, so our babies have a little bit more to look up to, and our grandbabies have a little bit more to look up to. Try to flip society around, not make it as sick as it is now. Because anytime you see a group of people attack someone for trying to do good, and they would rather undercut you and your hard work and say, oh, it's fake, or oh, it can't be, or oh, this is impossible, without even really truly delving into it with their heart, that's people who are very sick, hurt, wounded, and jaded. And we as Black folks do that to each other ongoing, ad infinitum. And it's really sad that, if I can look at my sister or brother and they are sharing their journey and say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm working for, this is what I'm working towards, this is what my labor of love, and a group of your own people can sit back and say, you full of shit, without any grounds or justification for it. That's a real fucked up, sick ass community that can sit by and do that to each other. We do it to each other every day here on social media, and every time I see it, I'm overwhelmed with sadness. Not just because it happened to me. This has been happening to me all my life, from high school. Even in like cheerleader tryouts. You try out, you make the team, you get your Letterman jacket, you walking around ready for the game, ready to do your thing. People call you fake. You can't be a cheerleader. You ain't shit. But I tried out, I made it, and I'm here. I did it. And you want to take that from me. That says more about the people tearing you down than it does you. Because the character is not defined by your accomplishments or how successful you are in your accomplishments. Character is defined by how you treat each other, how you treat someone, how you look at someone, and how you judge them or you don't judge them. How you criticize, how you view that person as inferior or what have you, just to enhance your station or your choice of where you choose to land. You know, your character is not defined by how many people you can make listen to you and pay attention to you. Your character is in how you treat those that do listen to you, how you treat them. Are they important to you? Are their insight and input important? Do you take that to heart? You know, that's what I was taught long ago. It don't matter how many accomplishments you make, how many hurdles you jump, how much you collect along the way does not define who you are. What defines who you are is how you treat people and how you treat yourself. If you don't have much respect for yourself, then you're not going to have much respect for others. You know, you're going to be either a giver or a taker, you know, and there should be a kind of a balance of both. You should always be of service, but if you can't fill your cup up first and replenish your own energy, you don't have nothing else to give, you know. What flows over that cup is what you share with other people. And you know, I'm a glutton for punishment. You know, if I have it, I give it. If I need it, I ask for it. And I always feel really anxious asking because I'm so used to giving. And I've been becoming a position. And I think that's another reason why I was led to this journey too, to drop my pride and ego and learn how to ask for help and learn how to or who to trust in a vulnerable moment with help. That was a very important lesson for me. You know, be careful who you trust. Be careful who you ask for help because they will use it as a tool to try to humiliate, destroy you, or whatever their goal is. You know, I just refuse to take the position of a victim because I can only be a victim if I allow something or someone to victimize me. You know, if I'm not dead, then I'm not a victim. So that's just how I see it. Me personally, that's just how I see it. Everybody might not agree, you know, because there are a lot of us among us who feel like they have to be the victimizer in order to feel justified and validated in their opinion. And that's really all people have is an opinion. You know, they love you to your face, and when you turn your back, it's fuck you. You know, they love you to your face, and then when you have a little disagreement, you turn your back and it's fuck you again, just like Kevin Gates says. So, I mean, it is what it is, though. You know, all we can do is do our best. All we can do is hold it down the best way we know how and surround ourselves with like-minded and greater-minded people. That was a valuable thing that my grandfather used to always tell me too, my mother's father, you know. And I look at her parents and the relationship that I had with them, and I don't know what the fuck happened between me and her, but I had some really awesome grandparents who instilled a lot of those sage drops of wisdom. They had their sayings and phrases around the house as they were doing their thing. And that was another one of them, you know. And it makes so much sense now because growing up, getting, you know, as a young woman, a kid, having a kid, you know, it don't quite fit until you have to actually go through that type of situation and be like, oh God, that's what that means. Shit. So yeah. But thank you is just not enough for, I said I wasn't going to do that. Thank you is just not enough for everybody who truly believed in me. Because when I think about my grandparents, I get touched because sometimes, you know, you just have that one set of people who always are rooting for you. No matter what you do, no matter how you fuck up, no matter how well you do and whatever you choose to do, they just always believe in you, and they have that type of correction that where it's not that bludgeoning, but it's just enough oomph behind it to get you to straighten the fuck up and fly right. That's how I remember them, and I have very fond memories of that. And it's bittersweet because you want your family, your entire family, to believe in you, and that's a whole nother story. But I just remember that sage that was handed down to me over the years, and coming up against certain pushback where you got people who would rather be naysayers. They're just not gonna ever be a cheerleader for you or anybody else. Everybody they come in contact with, they have to try to find fault, flaws, and fuck ups, to justify their position of being internally suffering, internally in pain. But that's where I'm at right now, and I'm a little worse for the wear these days, but it's been a lovely, lovely journey, and just learning more about myself, learning more about people in general, behaviors, why people do the sick and twisted shit they do, and what makes people come from a place of no versus a place of yes. Why people feel they need to self-victimize in order to feel they have a victory. Why people feel the need that they have to shit on as many people as they can. That's I'm working on that too. Trying to figure it out so we can kind of chop that up in little pieces and digest it slowly, because it dysfunction is a motherfucker. And one of the reasons I did choose psychology instead of the medical field, the medicine of the mind versus the medicine of the body, which is all connected, which is, I think that's fucked up too. But, medical medicine is separate from psychological medicine. I chose that because, I needed some help figuring me out too, you know, and just to make sure of some confirmation for some things and to learn new shit, how to approach certain stuff and resolve issues and figure me out, just so I can just be a better person as a whole, and help out as much as I can with healing the nation with the dysfunction, exposing it, having better ways, more eloquent ways, more effective ways of exposing dysfunction, and releasing the shame and the guilt that comes along with it. A lot of times we pack a bag that ain't even ours, and we carry that bag around with us for so long, and then when it's finally time to unpack it, we don't know what the fuck to do. We're like, well, goddamn, I've been carrying this shit forever, so I don't know how to let it go. you know and a lot of us are too ashamed to really admit that's the case. They would rather point over the fence and go, well, you're fucking up, you're this, you're that, and I'm fine just the way I am, and it's okay if I do those things, but you can't, because it's offensive to me. It shouldn't be offensive to you, though, and you shouldn't defend yourself when that happens. But I can defend myself, and I can hold on to it as long as I please. I've run across a lot of people like that just in this past year, where they can process however they so see fit. They can hold on to their anger, their hurt, their whatever, as long as they want to. However, when the tables are turned and it's your turn to need a soft place to fall or vent, or you need a little push, a little, jump start or what have you, you don't get that same opportunity. So that's just what the way people are. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Excuse me. Unfortunately, some of us know who to fuck with. Some of us don't. And I think the majority of the time when people do that to each other, they feel threatened by the one that they're doing it to. They really do. They feel threatened. And it's an uncomfortable connection. And they have to find a way to seem superior to you when they do that to you. At least that's what the energy that I've read. And I have had people tell me they're very intimidated by me. And then once they get to know me, they see that I'm really, I'm not a monster. I just refuse to take people's shit, like, especially unnecessary shit. But there are those among us who are adult in the body and still childish of the mind. And it gives people that power or that leverage over another person to say, aha, look at you, you tripped and stumbled, and now you deserve to be stepped on, shit on, judged, and ran over because you made a mistake, or you had a vulnerable point, or you needed something at the time that you couldn't provide for yourself. You had to ask for help. Black people, I only see doing that, trying to shame someone else because they had a vulnerable moment, or they needed to tap into something that they didn't have and ask somebody else for help. We are very, very much enablers of false ego and false sense of pride. And so the majority of us, when we see somebody without an ego, we automatically deem it as counterfeit. Because it's easier to default to that than to say, you know what? This is something that's foreign, unknown to me. This is a person that I have never met anybody like that before. They might just be special. Let me see if I can get to know this person a little bit deeper and understand a little bit more about where their head is at. It's about growth and learning, because if we were all the same, it would be a very boring world. If we were all on the same path, it would be very boring and very tedious and very fucking frustrating. But I don't have the right to tear nobody else down because I don't feel like I can reach that standard, whatever it is. I don't look at anybody as bigger or smaller, higher or lower than me, just different. We're just on a different totem, as I say. We're just different. And we got to meet people where they are, And if they can push you up a little bit, or you can push them up a little bit, y'all grab each other and yank each other up. That's what it's all about, really. So I done went a little too much longer than I thought. And for me, it's 3:43 a.m. And I just finished like 150,000 chapters of reading and tests and quizzes off and on all day. So tomorrow will be my day of chillaxing, the first day of the week. And y'all be good to each other. Treat each other right. Stop shitting on each other, especially when you see accomplishments. You see somebody trying to kick the door down, kick ass and take names. Try boosting them up instead of shitting on them, because for me, that's just fuel. It's just fuel. So the harder you shit on me, the harder I'm going to work to make you a goddamn liar. That's just how I do. And people's opinions is just like assholes. We all got one. And usually they are a one-way street. One direction. So it is what it is, fam. And again, thank you, everybody. I'm not sure. I forget the exact date. Mid-June, I think it is. But I'll keep y'all posted. Those who give a shit, those that don't give a fuck you. I don't care if you give a fuck or not. Let me see on my calendar. I believe it is June 11th. Yeah, June 11th is a Saturday. It's either that Friday or Saturday of that week. I will be officially a doctor. So I still got a few more steps after that. Of course, it's a long process after you finish and graduate and tassel goes over, and you got to go through a whole bunch more shit. But it'll be official then. So I'm trying not to be a baby. I'm trying not to get to snotting over here and all that stuff. But it's, for me, it's awesome because my journey through undergrad was very, very, very brutal in more ways than one. I had my oldest with me in college in another state, all by myself, with zero support. And it's almost kind of like a repeat of what I went through in undergrad. Now that I'm in grad, it's just a little different. Now, clearly I'm got a family supporting myself. It's not easy, but little bit differences, but it's still, the same. I got shit on when I was in nursing school and graduate school, got shit on just for trying to do better, like just for trying to put in some real work and do something to truly make a pivotal difference in my community. I've always been service driven ever since I could remember. From a little girl, I started my first little business as a babysitter. I go up and down the block and babysit people's little sisters and brothers. So I've always been a person of service. I like to give. I like to make shit better. I like to fix things. I like to make things. I've just always been somebody that comes from a position of service to others, especially children. That's always been a passion of mine. And now that I have a family, I see now that, mommies need a lot of healing. Whether you're a single mother, married, widowed, it doesn't matter. We need a lot of healing in this community. And we as Black people, we just don't believe in therapy. It's emerging more now than it did before, like from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Black folks wasn't having and feeling no damn therapy, okay? But now people are more and more starting to see that talking through your issues can sometimes help you resolve them better than holding it in. Processing things from a proactive standpoint or from a positive, more solution-based standpoint versus just shitting on the next person because you hurt, which is more productive. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And those that are truly successful in what they do, they don't have to keep saying, I'm successful, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling successful. You just do it. You just do it for the sake of doing it. It needs to be done, and nobody else can do it like you. That's just me. Because I'm among those unsung heroes, and I'm just not a spotlighty person. Somebody notice me, cool. If they don't, they don't. But I'm not here to satisfy the masses. I'm not here to stand on a motherfucking soapbox and pontificate to somebody else, and I'm not really making no moves myself. I feel really fucked up, doing that. So it's like I have to have something to show for what I talk about. And it might not be in the time frame that other people think it is or should be. It might not produce as fast or as much as what other people think it should. But I know within my soul and in my heart what I'm doing, just like everybody else who is among those special breed of people. It's just like some of us, they don't make them like us no more, And I'm meeting a lot more empaths and witches and people with psychic and paranormal abilities who are in healthcare industry, civil service like firefighters, EMTs, medevac pilots, helicopter pilots, airline pilots, doctors, lawyers. It's a lot of empathic, special, gifted people in those fields. And, we don't want to admit it and own up to it and accept it because we're programmed to think one way and one way only. If it don't fit in my box, it ain't real. So I let those type of people sit on their muffet like it's sitting on a tuffet. I don't really give a fuck. You know, I care about what I'm doing and how it impacts first my life, my children's life, and people who truly want to go, like people who truly want to take that journey of healing and forging their own path. You know, I had no choice coming through life. I didn't have the emotional support that you're supposed to give your children, you know, so I had to figure it on out the best way I knew how. And now that I'm getting a little bit more wise, a little bit stronger, using this more, and playing that chess game on the grid with the common enemy.
Don't worry.
I think the results of what's to come will be far greater, celebrated,
that brings the whole world
than just
into her home.
hopping up and down and screaming, me. So I'm out for real now. And hats on its way, sis. Love you. I hope all is well with you and your precious little person. I really miss y'all. I miss listening to him talk. And don't forget, you want something, inbox me on Facebook. You know, Angie George is my normal Facebook. Impact Angie is my other tarot page, psychic page, reading page. It went to sleep for a while. I haven't been posting over there a lot because of all the things that I have been juggling. Trying to get stuff situated, you know, getting everything back on deck the way it should be, straightening out vital stuff that just needs to be done, should you know, be in order. And you know, when you get older, you start thinking of things you didn't think of in your 20s. Like, you know, I want to make sure all my shit is in order for if I kick the bucket sooner than what I anticipated. You know, you need to have that shit in line. And your children should know what your final plans are. Even if you're not sick, ain't nothing wrong with you. It's a conversation that needs to be had, you know. And even just a little something, you should tuck it away for that, if nothing else. So yeah, college ain't for everybody. You can't slam away $500,000 for, you know, an Ivy League education all the time. Excuse me, for your kids, but you want to try to hook them up enough so where they're not struggling to either put your ass in the ground or set you on fire and make ashes out of you. You know, that shit gets expensive. So that's the trek I've been on. You know, just looking at what's most important in life and arguing and bickering and trying to prove yourself to somebody who never gave a fuck and never will, not even about themselves. It's just really a waste of time, you know, for all of us, not just me, for everybody. It's so much more out there that we can delve into and learn about and hook onto and absorb than a bunch of motherfucking drama and infinitum ongoing, systemically just totally erasing everything that our forefathers fought for and died for, erasing all that meaning behind it to go at another person just because they are who they are or they are who you think they're not or shouldn't be or whatever, you know. Because like I said, I do no harm, but I take no shit. You know, I'm going to stay in my lane until somebody put the blinker on and try to cut me off. And then that's it. Once you cross me, I'm coming. And I'm not going to stop till I get tired. And one thing above all things is a thief and a liar. Because liars steal too. They steal your time. They steal your peace of mind. They steal your balance. You know, they try to steal from you, period. If you say you are a capital B, you know, or a capital Q, it's going to be 10 people that tell you, no, the fuck you're not. You know what I'm saying? So it is that's what I'm saying. We need to heal that. We need to figure out what's going on with that, try to fix it and try to mend it where we are not such an apathetic group of folks. You know, it's really sad to see that, especially among adult women. I think it's so very, very unattractive for a woman to look down upon another woman when she's struggling, hurting, you know, being targeted for whatever reason. Whether you got an issue with that person or not, you might be pissed at that person, so you want everybody else to be pissed at them too. You know, shit like that is just really sad. It's really sad that in our golden year, approaching our sunset years, 30s, 40s, 50s, some people in their 60s, you know, they cannot get through life without trying to steal something from you. Even if they don't realize that's what they're doing, that's exactly what's going down. So I'm zipping it now. So y'all have a wonderful Sunday. Blessed be Hotep, one love, namaste, hatepu, and bonsoir. Good morning, night, whatever the fuck it is. I'm losing days, man. I got so much information up here. But I do love y'all from the bottom of my soul. And I really am very thankful for every drop of love that has been showered upon us in this journey. And to my family, I can't think, trying not to do it. I can't think of a better group of people to share this journey with. I can't think of a stronger group of people who have strengthened me along the way. And I can't think of better souls that I could have connected with to help finish pulling me out of that darkness that I was in and help me further heal myself so that I could be of better service to heal others. And I'm just getting healthier and stronger. And I'm very proud of myself because now I can do 25 pull-ups and pull myself up without no damn help. And that's something that I really wanted to get back to doing. So I'm just proud of that too. That little accomplishment of it, because I would be so damn frustrated watching everybody else do pull-ups and I couldn't damn pull myself up there. Just weak all up in here. But it's coming back, and I'm very proud of that. And soon I was asked and requested to kind of display my martial arts skills a little bit. And I'm not gonna promise because damn shit, I'm getting old. I ain't even gonna front. But I'm going to try to display that coming up too. We got the body bag out there, but I want to put some other things up and, you know, do it right. I want it to be right and you know, so the ones that requested it will enjoy it. I don't give a fuck about nobody else. But I just want to share that little piece of myself with you too. Because that has also been shit on. Don't nobody, but I know she don't. That black bitch from Chicago, she don't know shit about no motherfucking martial arts. You know what I'm saying? And as parents, if you have little ones, speaking of that, and I'm going to go for real this time. Extracurricular activities are very important for your children if you can get them in it. I reached for everything free for mine. The park district, you know, the local city stuff. It's a lot of stuff out there free because ain't nobody got it like that these days. Even rich folks is fucking broke now. So all this fronting that everybody doing online that they got all this motherfucking money, just liquid to waste and burn, it's just totally a fallacy, okay? And those of us who can afford to pay for private lessons for our children, for their babies, more power to you. That is awesome, you know. But me, I'm just a regular motherfucking mama, you know, trying to be clever and do things smart and be clever and smart about it. You know, when you have limited resources and limited support, you have to be smart. You have to be clever and innovative. So what I did for mine is the park districts in Chicago have a lot of free classes, or they have a nominal fee to it, like 35, 45, 55, 60 bucks for certain things. It depends on the courses, the class, the lessons you want to put your babies in. And summer camps and things like that, if you volunteer, sometimes they'll allow your children to go for free. They don't have to pay the tuition if you volunteer to help run the program that summer, if you can get out of work. Some of us work 2 and 3 and 5 jobs like Jamaica, and you can't do it. But if you have that ability to volunteer, you can volunteer to bake cookies or whatever the case may be, barter something to say, you know, can you shave 25% off if I do so and so on this field trip? Can you help me out with this? Because I got 3 children and I can't afford all that right now. You know, it's real. It's real life. And people all the time poke fun at somebody who don't have enough to make ends meet. It's real. You know, and that's what I did with the ballet lessons, with the gymnastics, with the martial arts, with the tumbling, with the wrestling, with the sports, period. You know, soccer, I have a soccer retro skater, rock and roll, hip hop, alternative dude in there who likes all kind of things that will kill you. So I had to find some free shit so I can up the life insurance just in case this motherfucker killed himself. Shit like that. You know, I have a daughter who loves crafting. She's been a crafter most of her little life. You know, so I had to figure out a way to pay for that shit so she can, you know, explore that gift. You know, my middle boy, he's just all everywhere. He can do a lot of shit, you know, and he has many, many, many talents. And I don't think they would be as enhanced as they are now if they didn't take music lessons and whatnot. You know, my skater is also a very good drummer, which a lot of people don't know. But when he pick up some sticks and see a set of damn skins, he'll blow your hair back. You know, my daughter can sing like a mockingbird. A lot of people don't know that. You know, I can sing. I just don't. You know, and that's from being in extracurricular shit. So you creating people who are building their character to grow into adults doing extraordinary things. And it's so unbelievable for a lot of people to understand that one person can withhold many talents. And there's more than one person out there that can hold many talents, you know. And to display those talents is a double standard, because one person can say, I know how to do, and it's immediately embraced. Another person can say the same thing and it's shit on, you know. So that's something else we got to work on, you know. Is I'm like this: if you say you have a talent, I'm celebrating, waiting to see it. If you want to share it, who am I to say you can or cannot do something, or who am I to say you don't, or you do have this, or you are not doing thus and so. That's not for me to say and judge that, you know. And people do it because they are threatened. They are threatened by your talents, and you have several, and where they might not have tapped into it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just different. It's not make you better than them because you have more talents than that person. It's just fucking different, you know. And I know I'm gonna have to say that 100 million times more before it sink in once with some of y'all motherfuckers. But I'm talking to those of us who keep up, and we don't need repetition to learn. We quick on the upswing. That's what the fuck I'm talking to now. So yeah, but I implore you to try your very best to be creative and innovative, and put your babies, your young ones, the little ones, in some type of extracurricular, fine arts, sport, across the gambit. Try to touch everything. Humanities, the fine arts of humanities, whether it's dancing, singing, artwork, ballet. opera. We need to do different shit because black folks like to shame each other out of doing different weird shit. You know, like I said, I was brutally teased from second grade all the way up to, you know, eighth or ninth grade. Even after that, I was still called weird Oreo cookie because I like doing shit that most niggas would never do. And I would force, like, I would just nag the fuck out of my parents to, I just want to do it. Why? Because it's different and I want to know. I want to learn. I want to know what the fuck it is, how to do it, or whatever. You know, there wasn't many black ballerinas back in the 80s and the 90s. I was told that there's no way that there would be a successful black ballerina. Now you have dozens upon dozens very famous, highly paid black ballerinas of all different cultures, all over the goddamn world. You know, we have this monolithic view of each other as black folks. And they feel like if I didn't do it, I can't do it, I have never heard of that, then how the fuck can you be able to do it? I don't see you doing it, so it can't be true. You know, that's how we do each other. And it's really, really sad, and it's primitive thinking. You know, or you piss me off on this subject, so now I'm going to expose you for the fake person you are because I'm mad at you about something else. So I got to come and try to snatch your whole rug out from underneath you because I'm mad. And I'm going to campaign everybody else on that rug, that magic carpet of bullshit with me. You know, that's just how we do each other. And it's really disheartening to see it magnify. Day by day, it just gets more and more and more ridiculous with the bullshit. So the only thing that bothers me is that people have to lie to feel like they're valid. That's the only, I can't stand a fucking liar. You know, somebody who just reaching anywhere they can go with it to deflect off of the real reason why they have been the most epic asshole they could possibly be. To avoid ownership, you know. And then people I just torture, you know, I just torture until I'm tired, then I move on to do something else. I take my toxicity out on those type of people. You know, when I think about something fucked up my mama did to me as a child, I aim that at that asshole. And I like, you know what? I think I want to fuck with you some more because you're a fucking liar. That's just how I am. I'm a Virgo. So that's one of my many flaws. Love me or hate me, that's how I am. I've been that way since I was a little girl. You lie on me, I'm going to get you. And I'm keep coming until either A, you fix it, or until I'm done. So, do no harm, take no shit. I keep telling y'all don't fuck with a witch, but you keep doing it. Everybody loves to fuck with me because I say don't fuck with me. You know, that's just how the nigga society is. You know, women and men alike do it all the time. And then they get together in their little clusters of cells of dysfunction and they compare notes, you know. So I'm rambling. It is now 4:00 in the motherfucker. I'm going to bed for real. And I love y'all. And thank you again from the bottom of my heart for everybody who stood right there with me, watched me go through all this shit. A lot of people didn't know all the deep details, but I'm making a kind of unofficial announcement now, and I'm very, very proud of the journey because I shared it with such awesome people who truly believed in me as a mother, as a leader, as a healer, as a doctor. And it's a very touching moment for me because coming from dysfunction, coming from a family of malignant narcissism and having a mother who is mentally ill with narcissism, means a lot to me. So I really appreciate it. And I said I wasn't going to cry, and I'm trying not to, but that's why. So love y'all. Peace out. Y'all be good. Get some rest. If you're still up with me, you know, post on my wall and say, what's up? And if you're not on my Facebook, fuck you. You don't belong there. If you blocked me in 2015, 2016, fuck you too. If you're still there and you're just looking and you spying, fuck you too. If you're there and you know me, you talk to me, we holler. One love, one family, hotep, which means peace, by the way. So if it's peace holes you referring to, then I'm a peaceful hole. How's that? Um, until you fuck with me. So yeah, officially I will have that DR behind my name, in front of it, whatever, and I will be officially ready to sit in the counseling room. And I'm just proud of that. If nothing else, I'm proud of my children, and I'm proud of this goddamn journey that I have been on that seemed like an eternity, and I'm inching up on the finish line. So thank you, everybody. Hat is on the way, sis. Love you very much. Kiss the baby for me. Arm warmers coming up. I got all colors, shades, lengths, and sizes. I just put this one on as a sample to kind of show you. This is a prototype. So yeah, hit me up. Peace, fam.